Hello children, let me welcome you to the virtual class of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. My name is Shraddha teacher. Children, we are in the middle of this COVID-19 pandemic, and because of that we are not able to go to school, but that doesn't mean we are going to stop learning. So we are going to do many lessons which are very interesting from your textbook through the virtual class here. So let us do a lesson in English today.
Children, let's start with a new lesson in Standard 5th Scholarship. And the lesson we are going to do today is a lesson in English. And what is the name of the lesson? Now when you see the name of the lesson, you will see that it is a very long one. Okay? And what is it? We are going to learn about question tags, polar questions and verbal questions in this topic, that is 4.2. So, you can understand that we're going to learn 3 different topics in one video. Now the name of the lesson is long, but the lesson itself is not going to be very lengthy. Okay, so we will learn what are question tags, we will learn what are polar questions, and we will learn what are verbal questions. We will learn the meaning, definition of each of these points, and then we will look at various examples, and we will also solve questions based on the pattern. Okay, so today's lesson is going to be a short and sweet one. So let's move on and let us start with understanding the meaning of question tags, polar questions and verbal questions. So what is a question tag? Now as far as the name goes, a question tag means it has got something to do with a question. And then what is a tag? A tag is something which you attach. Okay, now when you go outside, when you go to your native place, when you carry these huge bags, the suitcases, when you travel in trains, okay, what do? You attach a tag to your bag where you write your name, you write your address, etc. on it. Now why do you tag your bags? You tag it so that your bag doesn't get lost. And even if it gets lost, people might return it to you. Okay, so now that is a luggage tag, that is a baggage tag. Now what is a question tag? A question tag is again an attachment to a question. So if you attach some words or a phrase to a question, that becomes a question tag. Now let us try and understand what the meaning of this point question tag is. Okay, so here we have the meaning of question tag. A tag question, or we can also say a question tag, is a small question that is attached or tagged to the end of a sentence. So you write a sentence and then you attach a question tag to it. Now what is a tag? It is a small question which is attached to the end of a sentence. So that is a question tag. Okay, this is the meaning of a question tag. Now, rather than repeat the main verb, the form of be or any other auxiliary or modal verb is used in the tag. So instead of repeating, okay, for example, you are doing this, okay, and then you say, aren't you? So see, I did not say you are doing this, do it, or will you be doing it again. So when I tag it, I'll say, aren't you? Now are is a form of be. Okay, so you attach an auxiliary verb or you attach a form of the verb be or you use a modal verb. So this is how question tags are made or question tags are written. Now let us try and see a little bit more information about a question tag or a tag question. So a tag question is what? It is a statement plus a mini question. A statement and then a mini question. For example, see, we use tag questions to ask for confirmation. Many a times, we do not ask tag questions to get a response. We ask tag questions just for the sake of confirmation. We just want to clarify our point or just want to confirm what we have just said. Okay, now they mean something like, is that right or do you agree? For example, when I'm saying, you had your lunch, did you? Okay, or are you having a bath? Did you have a bath now? This is a question. But suppose I say, you had a bath. Did you? That means I'm just confirming. I know that you had a bath, but I'm just confirming. So when you ask a tag question, it is like you're saying, is that right? Or do you agree? Alright, it is just a form of a confirmation. And they are very common in English. Tag questions or a question with a tag is very, very commonly used in the English language. So this is about tag questions. Now, let us see the basic structure of a tag question. Positive statement carries a negative tag. Always a statement which is positive, the tag will be negative. For example, snow is white. Now I know snow is white. I know milk is white. But I am just confirming it. So I am saying snow is white, isn't it? Now here the is in positive. So I have added the isn't in negative. So I cannot say snow is white, is it? That will be wrong. Alright, so when the statement is positive, the tag will be negative, and vice versa. When the statement is negative, the tag will be positive. You don't like me, do you? See, here it is don't. So I have written the opposite of it. Don't is negative. So what is the opposite? It is positive. So don't is negative and do is positive. So snow is white, isn't it? You don't like me, do you? So this is how the basic structure of a tag question looks like. Now, how will you answer these tag questions? How do people answer tag questions? So do you give a long answer? Do you give a kind of a descriptive answer for a tag question? Let's see. How do we answer a tag question? Often we just say yes or no. Sometimes we may repeat the tag and reverse it. So most often we just say yes, we just say no, because when the person is asking a question, that person doesn't want any specific information from us. That person just wants us to confirm. Okay, so sometimes we may repeat the tag and we might reverse it, that is, turn around the structure of the tag. See, for example, they don't live here, do they? This is the question. See, we have followed the rule now. They don't is negative, so do is positive. They don't live here, do they? The answer to this will be yes, they do. So see, the do they in the question became they do in the answer. Alright, so this is how you answer these tag questions. Alright, now we come to some more examples. The moon goes around the earth, doesn't it? How will you answer this? Yes, it does. Now here these are not examples. What are these? These are not, this is not a meaning. These are examples. So let's change the heading here and let's say these are all what? They are examples. Okay? And we will see questions as well as we will see answers in these examples. So the first one went like, the moon goes around the earth, doesn't it? So the answer is yes, it does. Example number 2. The earth is bigger than the moon, isn't it? The answer is yes. The earth is bigger than the moon. So even if you say yes simply, it is correct. If you say yes it is correct. Okay. Coming to the third example, the earth is bigger than the sun, isn't it? So the answer will be no, it isn't. The earth is not bigger than the sun. The sun is bigger than the earth. So no, it isn't. See, we have reversed the order of the question. The isn't it in the question has become it isn't in the answer. Coming to the next one, Asian people don't like rice, do they? So what will be the answer to this? Yes, they do. Asian people, they do like rice. People in China, people in India, we eat a lot of rice. Okay, Pakistan, Bangladesh to that effect. Then, elephants live in Europe, don't they? So, no, they don't. We don't find too many elephants in Europe. Where do you find elephants? We have Asiatic elephants found in Asia, and we have African elephants with those big ears. Okay, so usually in Europe we do not find elephants. So no, they don't. What about men don't have babies? Do they? No, simply no. No, they don't. Also you can write, which will be correct. Coming to the last example, the English alphabet doesn't have 40 letters. Does it? No, it doesn't. How many letters does the English alphabet have? 26. A to Z. Okay, so it doesn't have 40. So these are all examples of tag questions or question tags. Take a look at all the answers. We are just confirming what we know, or we are just trying to reaffirm. Okay, we are trying to cross-check with another person. This was about question tag. Now we come to point number 2 for today. We will see what the meaning of polar questions are. Now they are quite similar except for the structure. Okay, now when we said that for the tag questions we have short answers. Okay, the same goes with polar questions too. So what are polar questions? Polar question also is known as a yes-no question or an affirmative-negative question. It is a question to which the expected answer is affirmative, that is yes, or negative, that is no. So if you are asking a question which is yes or no question, see sometimes you get questions in your book, in your question papers where the teacher tells you answer in yes or no. Okay, so is the dog a living thing? So that you need not explain too much. You will say yes, the dog is a living thing. Is the earth a planet? Yes. Okay. Is blood blue in color? No. So these are simple examples of polar questions where we have the answer as yes or the answer as no, where we answer in the affirmative or we answer in the negative. Alright, so this is about polar questions. So now see, if you compare it with what we just learned, that is, we just go back and compare it with the tag question and tag questions also, we have very short and sweet answers, isn't it? So come on, let's see some more information about a polar question. In English, polar questions begin with an auxiliary verb or modal verb and are usually, but not always, answered using the same auxiliary verb or modal verb. Okay, so do you know English? Do you know English? What will you say? Will you say yes, will you say no, or will you give a long 4-page answer? You will either say yes or you will say no. So they always begin with an auxiliary verb or a modal verb. Alright, but they are also answered in the auxiliary using the same auxiliary or modal verb, but not always, usually. Okay, for example, see, do you like chocolate? So answer is yes, I do, or it will be no, I don't. Simple. Okay, then we have does she speak English? So yes, she does, no, she doesn't. So see, what have you done? You have used the do in the question. In the first question you said do you like chocolate, and in the answer also you have repeated the do. You have said yes, I do in case of a positive answer, in case of an affirmative answer, and no, I don't. So the don't in case of a negative answer. Does she speak English? Yes, she does. So see, you have repeated the does. No, she doesn't. So you repeat this modal or the auxiliary in the answer, usually, not always. Okay, let's see one more example. Are you ready? Yes, we are. No, we aren't. Alright, then do you want to eat? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Then, are you going to the party? Yes, I am. No, I am not. Alright, so these are all examples of polar questions. Questions where the answer is very short, either in the affirmative or in the negative. Okay, so this was about polar questions, topic number 2 for today. Then we come to the verbal questions. That is a topic number 3 for today. So you remember I told you, even though we have a long lesson, name for the lesson, the answer is going to be, or the lesson is going to be very short and sweet. Okay, we have small points to cover here. So verbal questions. Now what do you understand by verbal questions? Verbal means you feel something which is said verbally or something which is oral. No, let's take a look at what the meaning of verbal questions are. So the meaning of a verbal question is they test the understanding and reasoning power. They aim at evaluating the ability to think constructively. So these questions are aimed at testing your intelligence, testing your understanding and your reasoning power. Okay, they are aimed at not just getting information. See, questions are asked usually only to get information. But in case of these kind of questions, in case of verbal questions, they are not used only for getting information but for trying to analyze your character also, or your reasoning or your mental strength also. Now, we find these kind of questions in a scholarship IQ subject. So isn't that interesting? So when you have learnt IQ, then definitely you must have seen these kind of questions. So what are they? Let's see. So see, we say birds are to feather and fish are to. So here you need to find out the answer. So the bird's body is covered with feathers. Okay, or try to analyze a relationship. Birds and feather. What is a relationship? The feathers are a part of the bird's body. So when you say fish, then which will be the answer that you will select? Will it be tail? Will it be scales? Will it be fish again? Or eggs? Now see, the feathers, they cover the body of the bird. Alright, so remember this. So the first point which is given to you, you have to try and establish a relationship there, and then you are supposed to repeat the relationship and find out the answer. So now tail. Now tail is a part of the fish's body. Okay, it is a part of the body. The entire fish's body is not covered with tails. What about scales then? Yes, the fish's body is covered with scales. Okay, fish is of course wrong, and egg is something which is there inside the body of the fish. So the correct answer, using your reasoning, using your logic, the correct answer will be scales. And here it is. It is the right answer. Okay, so this is what verbal questions are like. Verbal questions enable you or teach you to think logically, okay, or to think with understanding. Coming to the question patterns now. Like I said, the lesson is a short and sweet one. So we have just one pattern of question to choose from here, and that is choose the correct options. So this is just one pattern of question which will be asked of you in this particular lesson. Choose the correct options. So let us now select, or let us now look at some example questions. So the first question is here for you. Ducks are to ducklings as hares are to. So now see, it can be written in the verbal form also. This is a verbal question. In the previous one, we had used symbols, we had used colons and semicolons. Here you can use it in the word form also. So ducks are to ducklings as hares are to. So what could be the answer be? Fawns, letters, chicks or leverets. So now ducklings are babies of ducks. Ducks are to ducklings means ducklings are babies of ducks. So what are babies of hares called, or the young ones of hares called? What are they? They are called as option number 4, leverets. Okay, so ducks are to ducklings as hares are to leverets. Leverets are the young ones of ducks, or sorry, hares. Okay, moving on, let's see the next example. The dogs didn't eat the bread, dash. So now this is a tag question. The dogs didn't eat the bread, dash. So what will be the tag that you will attach over here? Let's see the options. Have they? Will they? Did they? Did it? So which will be the answer? The answer will be the third one. Did they? Now why didn't I choose the fourth one? Why didn't I choose did it? And why did I choose did they? Because the dogs are in plural. If it was one dog, then I would have said the dog didn't eat the bread. Did it? But here we have more than one dogs. The noun is in the plural. That is why we said, did they. Okay, we use the they for the plural. So this was the second example. Let's move on and let's do the next one. Ravi was a very strong player. Dash. What tag will you add here? Isn't it? Wasn't he? Was he? Hadn't he? So which is the correct tag here? Ravi was a very strong player. So it is something that we are talking about the past. Maybe right now Ravi is not a very strong player, or Ravi stopped playing, for all you know. So which one is the correct one, children? It is the second one. Wasn't he? So since the sentence is in positive, the tag is in negative. Ravi was a very strong player, wasn't he? Coming to the next one. If it is shoes and socks, then it is needle and dash. Shoes and socks are always said in pairs. These two nouns, they always occur in pairs. So then if shoes is to socks, then needle is to what? So is it 1 scissors, 2 machine, 3 button, or 4 thread? So which one is the correct one? 1, 2, 3 or 4? It is yes, the fourth one. Shoes and socks, needle and thread. So if it is shoes and socks, then it is needle and thread. Coming to the fifth one. Dash he really know the answer? So now what modal will you use over here? What auxiliary verb will you use over here? Dash he really know the answer? So will you say do he really know the answer? Has he really know the answer? Does he really know the answer? Or have he really know the answer? So which will be the correct one, children? It will be the third one. Does he really know the answer? Does. So that is a correct auxiliary which you will use there. Okay, come on, let's go to the next example. Example number 6, which is apples are fruits, brinjals are what? Are they nuts? Are they curry? Are they vegetarians or are they vegetable? So apple is to fruit as brinjals are to option number 4. Brinjals are to vegetable. So apples are a type of fruit and brinjals are a type of vegetable. Okay, so we've come halfway through to our examples. I've selected 12 examples for you. Okay, come on, let's move on and let's do the 7th one now. So it goes, dash you not study hard, children. Dash you not study hard, children. So what will you say? You will say, have you not study hard, children? Shall you not study hard, children? Should you not study hard, children? Or does you not study hard, children? What will you say? You will say, yes, the third one. Should you not study hard, children? That means you should study hard. So here I'm not asking you for your opinion. I'm not giving you a chance to say yes or no. I'm telling you that you should study hard. Okay, so I'm only confirming. Alright, coming to question number 8. Our hands have fingers and our feet have dash. Now, when there are fingers on our hands, what do our feet have? What are they called? The digits you can say on your feet, what are they called? Many of us say, the fingers of my hand are paining and the fingers of my feet are paining. But remember, you have fingers on the hand, on the feet you have something else. So what are they? Are they 1 toes, 2 thumbs, 3 nails or 4 heels? What are they? It is option number 1, toes. So you say na, tips and toes, nails and toes, fingers and toes. Okay, so our hands have fingers and our feet have toes. Alright, so option number 1 is the correct answer. Coming to the 9th example, choose the correct option. You cannot scream in the class dash. So here again it is a kind of a rule that you're only confirming to. You're just cross-checking whether everyone knows the rule. You cannot scream in class dash. So you cannot scream in class will you? You cannot scream in class can you? You cannot scream in class can't you? Or you cannot scream in class won't you? So what do you think should be the correct answer here? You cannot scream in class and it will be can you? So can you scream in class? Of course not. You can't scream in class. So you cannot scream in class. Can you? So it is a kind of a, you can say, warning given to someone, or it is just reconfirming that no one is allowed to scream in class. Coming to the next question, the 10th example. Dash their place for me in the bus. Which are the options? Is there place for me in the bus? Was there place for me in the bus? Will there place for me in the bus? How there place for me in the bus? So what do you think will fit in here? Which modal auxiliary will fit in here? The answer will be, is there place for me in the bus? So is, option number 1 will fit in here. Now you can also write will, but then the sentence should change a little bit, okay? Will there be place for me in the bus? When I add a be over there, then you can use will. But here since there is no be, using the will fetch you no marks. Okay, your answer will become wrong. Let's now start with the second last question in this video. Question number 11. Simi does the job well. Dash. So, Simi does the job well. Does she? Simi does the job well. Isn't she? Simi does a job well, doesn't she? Or Simi does a job well, do she? So what is the correct one? Which is the correct answer? It is the third one. Simi does her job well, or does the job well, doesn't she? So see, does is in the positive, so the doesn't becomes negative. Alright children, now we come to the last example for today, where we see the 12th question, or the 12th you can say option or example. Dash they punished for what they did. So is it was they punished for what they did? Were they punished for what they did? Did they punished for what they did? Or wasn't they punished for what they did? So what will you write? Was, were, did or wasn't? Which one will be the correct one? It will be option number 2. Were they punished? Now if it was they, it is in plural. There are many people, that is why we said were. If it was one person, then we would have said, was he punished? Was she punished for what he did or what she did? Okay children, so this was this rather long lesson. That is, we learnt about 3 things in one lesson. We learnt about tag questions or question tag, we learnt about polar questions, and we learnt about verbal questions. We learnt quickly or in short about the meaning. We saw a number of examples in order to clear the idea for you, and finally we looked at a lot of example questions. Okay, so I hope the idea is very clear to you. And also I hope you always follow what I advise you to. I tell you never to watch the answer directly. Okay, always when you see the question, when you see the options to the answer, pause the video and try to find out what the real answer is. Okay, and only then check your answer with mine. That is to make the lesson more interesting. Now I want you to watch the entire video, and at the end of the video again I have some small tasks set for you. So do that also.
So children, now you have watched the video. So after you watch the video now, you will have to complete a few simple tasks. Now you might have watched the video on your computers or your laptops or your mobile phones. Now after you watch the video, what will you do? You will please go to the description box which is given below the video. So what is the description box? See, the description box looks like this. Alright, and after you go to the description box, you will see that there are a few questions there. Now what are these questions about? These questions are about the lesson that we just learned or the video that you just watched. So what will you do? You will think back properly about the lesson and you will try and answer these questions and note down the answers in your notebook if you want. Okay? After that, we have another task waiting. You will also click on the link which you will find in the description box to fill up the Google form. So now what is the Google form, children? It is nothing but a simple form. There are a few simple questions there about the video which you just saw and also about yourself. So these are the tasks now that you will have to complete after you watch each video. So children, wasn't that a very interesting lesson? I'm sure you learned a lot of new things in this lesson. If you have liked this video, please hit the like button and also subscribe to my video so that you will get to see all the videos which I keep posting regularly.